We are live with the CEO of Twin Protocol, Stacy Engel. I'm so excited to have you here. How are you, Stacy?
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. And with you, it's always a good day. So,
Well, you're too kind. So I'm really excited to do this. We have a special announcement towards the end of our talk here, but
yeah.
what I really want to focus on is Twin Protocol because they're launching on the 22nd, and
Yep.
this must have been years of hard work. How are you feeling right now? Because I mean, you've literally worked on this whole project for years, and it's finally happening. So what are your feelings? I'd love to know.
Thank you. I I always just talking about being with you and in the spaces that you create, which I really appreciate. And we're starting with feelings, which is great. Uh, so I just feel so excited. I feel very grateful for all of the communities and our team at Twin, all of the people who have touched the project over time, because it really does take a village to raise a baby business that's growing. So, yes, and that includes the Kryptonaires community. You've been so supportive, and I'm just very grateful. So, I mean, at the end of the day, we've had so many exciting launches in the sense that we have our alpha and we have a product that is working and has paying customers, which is amazing. And this is just the critical backbone, right, of our platform utilizing Twin token. And so it's very exciting to make it live and ready to go for everyone to get more involved.
I love that, and just so everyone knows at home, Kryptonaires is actually was had the opportunity to support Twin Protocol early. We've been here for like the last 6 months, and our team at Kryptonaires has been working extremely closely with the Twin team. And I want to say, as far as professionalism and kindness and working together, your team
Mm,
has been flawless and just incredible to work with. So thank you so much. I hope you can relay
Thank
the
you
message that we're thankful to be working with them.
for sure.
Let's talk about digital twins, right? Because it is an exciting space that a lot of companies are trying to kind of get in. I think, Twin does have a edge inside of this community, but what are your thoughts on, all of these kind of different companies trying to pop up and doing something similar to Twin?
Yeah, well, I think let's just start from a foundation perspective for everyone who's joining us here. I mean, the idea of digital twin from the standpoint of having a copy of something that's virtual isn't necessarily a new concept. Actually, from like creating physical building digital twins when engineers and architects are building projects, like that's been happening since the 70s, 80s.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
but this idea of digital twin using AI, so what we do, AI twins, allowing your knowledge and data set to live in multiple versions of yourself, right? I mean, we're really early in using AI as a tool, just from a mass adoption perspective. I mean, it's been insane, the traction, right? Even in the last 12 to 18 months and everything with OpenAI and all the big tech.
Yeah.
So I think it's just a natural progression of education. So I always get very excited to see new projects and companies coming into the space because there's a tremendous amount of learning we all need to do together. And at the end of the day, when you talk about our edge, what we're really aiming to do is be the secure and safe place for you to store your data and create a repository that trains twins. So when I see and when our team sees multiple players coming into the market, we're always like, how could you utilize Twin Protocol? Because our goal is for anyone who has a Twin Vault with APIs and SDK opportunities or techie ways to plug into products. The goal would be that we're constantly partnering with the best avatar companies, the best voice simulations, the best ways that we can create digital versions of ourselves. So that's really my stance when I see this space. And I think it's super exciting that it's market validation as well, of just this is a direction that we're all going to be communicating more through AI. So
I think it's incredible.
let's evolve.
I think it's incredible because everybody always is curious about something, and when you have I mean, I don't want to like be full of myself, but like if I'm not available and somebody has a question, they can now go to and that's powerful, right? Because people don't have to wait to maybe get the answer that they're looking for, and it's just really incredible. What are some key benefits of blockchain technology in securing and managing digital twins? How does that role kind of come in with crypto? Because I know some companies are not doing crypto, and is it make it more safe when you're using blockchain technology to protect that data?
Yeah, so the blockchain technology allows basically decentralized. So instead of having your data stored in very centralized sole locations, which I mean, this is when cloud came out. It was that was an abstract concept, but this idea of decentralization, being able to have transparency and see exactly, so on blockchains you can see and have transparency of where things live, and then there's protections without us going into more technical. Yeah, blockchain really enables that, and then tokens are the communication modality that allows, and there's lots of benefits, right? Because it's monetary, like you'll be able to be paid in twin token or be paid in other uh, tokens. But then also, just in and of itself, when you think about NFTs and other vehicles that are stored in blockchain, it allows people to basically have wallets that are slightly different. They're not owned per se by Google or Apple or big tech. So there is this conversation of what happens with your data, where is it stored, and who benefits from it. And blockchain really changes the game. That's why it's not a very controversial technology. Everyone is investing in it, and there's a lot of blockchain being utilized.
I think, if we had this conversation maybe a few years ago, more people would be skeptical. But I think now you have almost 50 million Americans that are actually investing in some type of crypto. A lot of it might be meme coins and people gambling on that. But like really people are seeing the future here of blockchain and how important it is. And I think that's really powerful, especially right now. I think crypto has really become more bipartisan than maybe it has been over the last few years. And I think hopefully over the next maybe 6 to 12 months, we will see some legislation in the US that gives us a little bit more clarity on crypto in general.
Yeah, I mean, when you have people acknowledging Bitcoin, which is why there's so much, well, there's lots of reasons for that cult following and practicality, but it's amazing to see, yeah, the change in dialogue with like major VCs, major financial institutions acknowledging that Bitcoin as a tool and a vehicle is very valid. And I mean, that's been a very big sentiment change even in the last 12 months of what you see and can consume in global media.
Yeah, when you have Larry Fink, right, who's the CEO and founder of BlackRock, I know maybe people have different thoughts about who that is, but that is a very big person to say, hey, I was wrong about this asset class. I'm going to kind of relook at my position. And now he's talking about Bitcoin. He's talking about Ethereum. I was just listening to one of his investor calls, and he's really bullish about crypto. And I think that really does help because that's the biggest player in the space. And when the biggest player in the space is actually bullish on crypto, it does put pressure on everybody else to then want to adopt crypto and offer these products. Because if they don't, they're going to get left behind, in my personal opinion. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think what it highlights is just that there is utility. It's not just a financial structure as well. So that's where, I mean, when they talk about it in relation to gold or other assets that are being created, or that are finite and created by the universe or like Earth and stuff. Not, but I think the utility of tokens is what we really need to start being educated on, and that's what Twin Protocol is about, right? It's about creating economies. There are economies already created that are very tangential, right? If you think about like airlines miles and airline points, and there are gaps there that we all know, right? If I would, it's very cumbersome to give you, if I just wanted to gift you 100,000 miles or something, that's really cumbersome. However, blockchain and a token would allow us to do that in seconds.
Mm-hmm.
If that kind of value creation that we all agree upon, miles or something, then there's that. So I think it's important we're talking about it using that example, which I think is important from a DeFi perspective. But then there's also this whole dynamic with value and value creation in products and platforms that we can all benefit and think about it differently.
I love that. I know you did talk briefly about the utility around the Twin token. Is there anything you wanted to add as far as kind of how the token will be used in the platform? I didn't know if you wanted to touch base on that really quickly.
Yeah, so basically your Twin Vault and all the interactions you have with Twin Protocol will utilize the token. So that means creating your twin, being able to interact with twins so you can pay or get paid through the token. There will also be a lot of programs around earning and learning, which I think is really exciting, just because we really want, our vision is to better the world through knowledge and wisdom sharing. So the goal to really enable people to learn about everything, which is why, think about the wealth of information you have, being able to scale that. But also Twin tokens unlock advanced customization, and they're facilitating the transactions, like I mentioned. So it's really it's built in to the core of how the platform runs. And that's exciting for everyone, I think.
I love that. And AI is one of the hottest narratives in crypto right now. And you guys are launching at just a huge opportune time. And I think really the sky is the limit for what you guys can accomplish. What industries or sectors do you see having the most potential for adopting digital twins and your technology?
Well, ultimately, everyone's going to be impacted through, when we talk about Twin Protocol, we talk about it's the next revolution of communication. So if you think about how things changed with the telephone and mail and the internet, it's really that big, AI is, for how we do things and communicate just as individuals, but then how AI will be able to communicate with other AIs is really going to be game changing. So that's going to impact everyone. Initially, people who have already curated content and huge amounts of knowledge bases, they're the initial adopters for the most part, because it's pretty easy to start to bring to life their knowledge and data into a modality with AI. So business leaders, thought leaders like yourself, celebrities, people with built-in communities who are creating content. And we've talked a lot about, the knowledge and creator economy being existent and growing. And I forget now what the ranking is of kids when they're asked in like middle school what they want to be in, like a YouTuber creator, or basically doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Pretty much top 5 across the board in like lots of different parts of the world. So even kids understand like it's knowledge sharing and all of that. So those sectors and then entertainment. So of course there's a factor of like use case and then where budget and money is that helps with initial traction to then go into other industries. But in our white paper, we do talk about the business and enterprise use case, which we do think is really huge because knowledge transfer and knowledge sharing. So when you think about a job that you're holding and what knowledge is created and what you brought, blockchain and digital twin protocol will be able to allow you to really get more, potentially negotiate your left knowledge to then have a reoccurring payment for you, like a licensing to then, so think about being able to license your twin that then your previous team could access for a certain period of time or in perpetuity.
No, that's incredible because it's endless to how many businesses have that type of person working there that maybe is the key to that department, and being able to ask a question to that the digital twin, if that person maybe is in a meeting or sleeping or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Just getting that answer could mean the difference between making a business deal or creating some opportunity for the company. And so that's just really cool. We did have a question from MMT. I want to bring it up here. Thank you so much, MMT. He says, how do you see digital twins affecting our relationships and interactions with each other?
Such a good question.
He always has good questions.
Such a good question. Well, do you have an initial thought? Because I think we both could answer that. I mean, you've really been an early adopter from the standpoint of you say it's exciting. Some people get freaked out.
I think people who might not understand it, or people who feel like maybe everything shouldn't be online and privacy is this, and so a few years ago I would have never thought that I would be teaching people about cryptocurrency, but when I started learning about it, it became such a passion and fire for me. And if I can help more people understand why crypto is so important, even if I'm not online, where people could ask my digital twin about certain things that, I feel that are going to reshape the way humans, exchange value or make our lives even better. I think that's extremely important, but I'd love to hear what your thoughts are.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, most of us would agree with the statement. Sometimes I just really love to be in two places at once. Yeah. Right? When you have to choose, or I guess for me, even just events or things that you can't do, like being able to have your twin show up as like, it's not a replacement of you, but it is like an extension of you. And I think that can be really beneficial for scaling with relationships. Also being able to have some of your thoughts, knowledge set translated in multiple languages. If you think about that opportunity with relationships, of course, there are always dark sides of what we need to be cautious of when we're building things responsibly and ethically around, people getting too attached to AIs in replacement to, intimate relationships, et cetera. But as far as what it can do for our relationships, I think that it's an add, because especially as we're growing the capabilities of twins, the more that we can have our twins and use AI to do the minutia of your life that you do not enjoy doing, that is, even like, if you can use AI or your twin for 30 minutes, an hour, to then take that time back and call your mom. Being a mom, I always like to say that. But call your mom or someone really important to you, or spend time doing something you absolutely love. That's a value add to society. And just being in human capital, like, I have coaching certifications. I really care about supporting people to live lives that they care about and are meaningful. And I do think us better utilizing these tools and having digital twins can allow us to do that. And it's really what you're having your twin do and then what your human or meat version, as some people have said, which is funny, what your human existence can do.
I wonder if we've reached mass adoption when, you know, you're in a relationship with somebody and they ask you a question, you say, "Well, just go ask my digital twin," you know, instead of bothering me with that. Uh,
I
just
think people could ask that of you, or I know on our team, my team asks my twin questions prior to me reviewing it, which saves time.
Yeah.
We haven't calculated what that is. But yeah, there's just real utility. I mean, that can also be a diss, like you're saying. Like, oh, well, I don't have time. You either get the AI version of someone or the human version. But the good thing is that your AI version could potentially be way more patient about working through something.
Yes, that is well, maybe digital twins will save relationships in the future because of that. I love it. Just big shout out to moms everywhere. You know, you brought that up. Big shout out to my mom, Mary. I love you. She's
Aw.
always been super supportive of me, and I was actually talking with her before I got on here, so I just want to
I love
just
it.
do that. We did have a question from John OS. I think Curtis is actually in the chat answering questions. Curtis, someone that is working on the twin team that actually has helped out me dramatically on my digital twin, which we're going to show you in just a little bit. But John asked this question. I wanted to bring it up because I think it's important. So John said, could people with a stammer or speech impediment use twin protocol and say a presentation they produce twin takes out this, you know, the stutter or the stammering, or does it leave it in?
That would be your choice,
Mm-hmm.
more or less. So you could decide right where you think it's getting in your way and where there's authenticity that you'd want to keep in your voice. But absolutely, I mean, there are so many biases that we have as individuals and as organizations and systemic that I really think can be aided in AI, right? Because for people with voice impediments or things like that, there are certain areas where they might not thrive as much just because of perception. And
Yeah.
that's not necessarily serving the world or anyone in a way. So yeah, you could have your voice however you wish. One of our partners, Angel AI, has done such an amazing job at breaking through. They're in financial services and they help vast amount of people with financial products and loan mortgages. And they've been able to secure financial products for people who are normally turned away because the AI does not have the biases that individuals processing applications do. So I really do think that just what you're bringing up, thank you for that question, and this idea of we can get so caught up in bias and training data and where it's bad, but there's so much opportunity and goodness with those opportunities for how it can actually eliminate our blind spots as humans as well.
I love that. I wasn't even thinking that way. So great question from Curtis, and an even better answer from you. I'd love to understand, you know, and this might be a question that, you know, what challenges have you faced in developing and in implementing the technology, and things maybe that you've overcome or anything that kind of sticks out? We'd love to understand that better.
Yeah, it's such a great question. And I think learning from the challenges, like a lot of times those sticky, hard challenges are what are the, like once you break through them, those are the biggest celebrations as a team. There, I'd say a couple. So one is it's really focused when you're building emerging technology, because just even with your question around all these new players are coming on board with digital twins, you know, sometimes it can be a challenge of who do we partner with, because we're building an ecosystem that plugs in to the training data. So it has been a challenge at times if we are testing things and those partnerships or the tech just doesn't fit the way that we want it to. So I mean that's kind of an abstract answer, but that's something just from like a fit with building ecosystem. That's like a real challenge, like from a technical perspective, and also then just a fit around, okay, we want to make sure we're delivering all these things. As far as AI is concerned, because we're building the fine tuning. So when you sign up and you start to create your twin, and eventually, like pretty soon, we're going to have a version where you can self-service anyone who's listening to a version. When you're doing that, there's a tremendous amount of stuff in the background. So we've talked about this before around AI is really compute power, algorithms, and training data. And it's really all three of those things. There are different challenges. We like to think of them as opportunities in each of those. So like compute power, a lot of people ask us, well, can we have an avatar live that really works, conversationally? Well, that takes a tremendous amount of compute power and is pretty costly. That's why we don't see avatars prolifically around right now. So I'm kind of going in multiple directions here, but the challenge around ecosystem fit and then really addressing these three things where we have technical focus on compute power, like how are we being the most efficient we possibly can, especially being earlier stage product. Second, how do we partner with the right algorithms? And third, how are we helping people curate their training data?
How does this whole thing with AI and the costs around AI, how does it get cheaper? Is that more compute power? I doubt it's more training data, right? It's got to be something around compute power. What's the answer?
Well, it's more compute power, and we're really lucky to be partnering with some really innovative solutions that are looking at decentralized, sustainable power. So more to come, because we actually have an exciting partnership that we'll be announcing soon. But that's how, it's really a global conversation, and that's where there are news headlines around chips and
that's difficult.
Power sources. Yeah.
I think the Biden administration and the CHIPS Act, right? They're trying to now build, but it's going to take years, right, to build factories here where we're making some of these chips ourselves instead of relying on, some of our partners like Taiwan. But how do you envision digital twins evolving over the next 5 to 10 years? And how does Twin Protocol preparing for the future?
Ooh, those are good, big questions. So 5 to 10 years, when you think about the global market, it's pretty insane, just from the standpoint of how the global AI marketplace or market cap is growing, in the trillions, expected 15 trillion increase in productivity through AI by 2030, which is only in 5 years, really. 5 years and 2 months. So when you think about that, which that is the food services industry, if you think like globally. So it's a huge amount of impact that AI is going to have. And AI twins are a part of that. And that's really, how are you going to be able to extend yourself? How are organizations and products able to extend themselves through AI with twins? So that's like a macro thought for 5 to 10 years. Also a stat that by 2030, 800 million people will need to be reskilled in some ways because of roles being impacted. So I think AI twins will be critical in helping actually educate and train, because I spent over a decade building a business in the training and corporate leadership space. And the minute that I found out more about what was possible with AI twins, like this is going to be absolutely game changing in learning and education. And just when we need to move fast as people, like you might want to learn something at 1 a.m. I may want to at 5. I might want to real time as a challenge is happening, which is where YouTube really did become a game changer in education, because you could look up how to do anything in the moment that you needed it. Like that, just in and of itself, you didn't have to call someone to translate. So I think AI twins will be critical in education in the next 5 to 10 years, both professional and also as we look into educating youth and some of the traditional education routes.
800 million people. That is incredible. It's like 1 out of 9 people in the world will need to be kind of refocused or re-educated on how to do a different job, because that's how big of an impact AI will have. It's an incredible number. I wanted to ask you this question, and I know maybe you can't answer it, but Ajax, Ocean, and Fetch just partnered to become a super AI company called ASI. And I wanted to know kind of how that transition has maybe impacted Twin for the good, or can you maybe just talk to us about how all that happened, and maybe the benefit now of Twin being a part of this incredible ecosystem that has been built out?
Yeah, absolutely. And we just did, which we can post to the community, we just did a piece on this week that was published on really how that SNet and Artificial Superintelligence Alliance will continue to build and use the need for digital identity. So that's a big thing. When you think about Twin Protocol, your Twin ID with your training data set could really be plugged into anything as verification, as well as just growing. So we're in active conversations with the whole alliance, which represents a huge amount of resources as well as individuals who could utilize and benefit from that. So we're very excited. Besides some of the other opportunities just with each of the organizations, for instance, we've been with SingularityNet as a spinoff partner, and they were constantly using some of their AI neural nets, like vetting what kind of technology. So I'm very excited about that as well. These organizations have incubation with tools and also ideas that can come to life. So it's so much opportunity. And just like we were talking about decentralization versus centralization, it's like the Artificial Super Intelligence Alliance represents decentralized AI. So this whole notion that the goal is for you to own your data, to be able to permission it and benefit from it, and then AI that's created being beneficial to society. So those are tall orders that are important and what we stand for. So we're just thrilled that everyone's coming together. And I mean, the age of AI is very much about ecosystem and network. I think the traditional ways of, incubating and thinking you're going to compete in the same ways will really change once knowledge is more accessible.
I love that. And it feels like maybe this partnership has kind of supercharged maybe what your abilities can do, and just access to so many more incredible people working in the space at the same time. I'm sure it's really exciting behind the scenes. Do you have
think about just the last thing here. Yeah. I mean, that whole ecosystem represents DeFi, robotics, biotech. There's ventures in longevity and gaming and media. So those are like massive sectors that, it's very exciting. And there are a lot of brilliant minds involved.
I'd imagine there's not an infinite number, but there's probably a lot of different influencers in gaming or, education that you guys could reach out to and create digital twins for. And they have huge audiences, probably much bigger than mine. But that's really exciting. So MMT did have a question here. And we brought this up during the summit, but we'll come back to this as maybe new people are joining us. But as we move towards AGI and ASI, artificial super intelligence, and then I think it's artificial general intelligence, and you'll correct me if I'm wrong, but our twins, do you believe that we will face any ethical dilemmas for our twins?
Well, I mean, if we believe that AI is a reflection of us, we have ethical dilemmas as humans. So, I mean, there's a lot of unknowns when we think about growing, and just for all of our codifications, it's artificial general intelligence, which is basically human level reasoning, human level problem solving. As that progresses to artificial super intelligence, which is basically AIs being the best in the world at any given field, knowledge set, and that they self-improve, just like our human intelligence. With all of that, where does knowledge come from? Who owns what knowledge? Like, there are a lot of philosophical questions that go into these ethical dilemmas. So, I mean, there's so many unknowns.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I see AI also as a reflection of us. That's why we need to raise it well. That's why we need to be responsible, ethical. So with that comes all the territories with humanity.
I think there's a lot of unknowns. Are we decades away from something like ASI? Is that just too far forward for us to kind of comprehend right now? Or are people actively trying to work on creating something like that? Do you know?
Well, I have the privilege of working with a lot of scientists and Dr. Ben Gertzel, who is one of the brightest minds in this space. He is part of Twin Protocol, and he's the CEO of SNet ASI now. He's talked about before 2030 AGI.
Oh, wow.
There's a lot of unknowns.
Yeah.
But the active, like, we've seen indications that, with tests and certain things, that human intelligence has already been glimpsed with AI models. So it's an exciting road. There's also, this is why it's important to have the focus on beneficial AI and who owns what, and for AIs to not just be controlled by corporate profit.
Yeah.
And not look at the overarching societal impacts.
We're just kind of recreating the same problem with, corporations owning everything, owning all your data, and then owning, what could be an incredible, use case for mankind to solve problems that we haven't been able to solve yet. Can you share any specific use cases or success stories of how digital twins have benefited individuals or businesses? Anything kind of stand out for you when I ask that?
Well, we've seen so much amazing impact with Dr. Deepak Chopra, who's a prolific spiritual guru, also a medical doctor. He has over 90 books. He just released his new book, Digital Dharma, how AI can elevate your well-being and spiritual wisdom. And our goal in the partnership is to really reach 1 billion people to help elevate their spiritual wisdom and well-being. So that use case we're already seeing with him, which you can check out digitaldeepak.ai and talk with him in Arabic, Hindi, Spanish, and English right now. You can ask him questions, and people have already augmented conversing with his twin with bad breakups. So felt that it was a spiritual place where they could process what was going on, and augmenting therapy, things like that. It's not to necessarily replace, but this idea of having thought partnership, not spending hours scrolling on the web to find articles, but having someone who you know is an expert who's curated their knowledge so that you can go there and it's a place of, safety, security, and to process something. So I love that use case because there's just, when we think about human challenges and problems, health and our well-being is a huge, like the top 3 killers from like a medical perspective are pretty much preventative from lifestyle. So if you change your lifestyle, you could live a healthier life, not have disease. And being able to help people do that in a way that it's like in their pocket or however they want to drive that conversation, I'm really excited about that. And we've seen a lot of traction, and there's a lot on that roadmap for that implementation, including basically IoT wearables being integrated. So imagine if you have an Oura ring or a Garmin or an Apple Watch and you integrate it, and then you can have expert medical opinions or certain spiritual support. Even if you had a really rough night of sleep and you have a really packed schedule on your calendar, someone could come, Dr. Deepak Chopra could say, would you like me to start your day off with a meditation because you didn't sleep very well? So that customization, and just these are blocking and tackling like real human potential issues, right? Like, yeah, those are like, that's just one, but a really exciting one.
It's mind-boggling what you guys are able to accomplish and what is being developed right now. I think people really don't understand how big of an impact this is going to have on our everyday lives. Just having that level of access to maybe somebody that can really help, change your state of mind or help your day-to-day in your business. It's just, the scale is incredible. There was a question from my community I did want to address because LAX is a longtime member of Kryptonaires. Said when digital twins are being used on a greater scale, there'll be a lot of errors and feature requests to kind of upgrade the twins. And he said, kind of, how do you cope with this? Will this mean the company would have to grow a lot to fix all of these issues, or requests to maybe change a few different things?
Such a good question, and just truly what happens when you put things into the world and then they get adopted, which is what the goal is. How do you cope with this? Well, I love how you ask, will this mean the company would have to grow a lot to fix? Because I do think AI is going, when you think about that 15 trillion productivity, AI is really going to help with errors and feature requests, with prioritizations, trends, like things that AI can do from a narrow perspective right now very easily. So, of course, anyone who's building AI twins, I think what's super critical is using AI to cope with it. So basically learning and being able to meet people where they are. But then that mix is more on the technical. From a business leadership perspective, and where I always sit when we're scaling, is you have to meet people where they are and communicate and be able to be available and transparent. So that's a big thing we're working on with Twin right now, around how we have feedback mechanisms, and there will be errors and there will be lots of feature requests. But one other thing that we're doing on the roadmap that will be released before the end of the year is the baseline API and SDK. So getting developers and getting technical teams into the mix and creating opportunity. I'm just very excited for that, because I think that's the proactive antidote to what your question is addressing. It's this idea that people, like, ideas can come truly from anywhere.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited to give access to code and opportunity for people to just have fun and build. So having some hackathons and some engagement in that way, I think will really help us stay ahead of some of not just errors, but also those feature requests or doing things that no one can even think about right now, really.
Oh my God, I love it.
Yeah.
And that's why I love this space, right? Because there's things that are going to be developed or created, worked on over the next few years that we aren't even comprehending right now or fully understanding, and it's just incredible. I did want to give this is a great question that I didn't even think of, and I wanted to give a shout out to Jason for asking it. But he said, once your twin learns your behavior, can it help with smart devices or make phone calls in case of an emergency?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that will happen. I'm not sure if well, it already can detect some behaviors. So this has happened in the Singularity Net ecosystem already with some of the AIs regarding some of the AI in robots. So with Grace, who's a nurse robot, she can detect diminishing motor functionality with dementia patients and certain things just through behaviors and speech, cadence, etc. So that's happening, and twins you'll be able to link your vault and training data to that, absolutely. And then making phone calls, yes. First of all, calling a twin, like having lifelines, is something that I really love. Justin Edwards, our head of product, he loves that too. It's like you can have your lifelines of AI twins and you could make that available as well. I know what you were talking about is more around the device.
Yeah.
And that actually does happen already. I have a crazy story, which we don't need to get into, but my father had a horrible fall.
Oh.
And the Apple Watch detected it and called the ambulance. And so all of this and took him and alerted me the entire way of what was happening, just because I was an emergency contact in his Apple system.
Wow.
So these and that's not talked about as much.
No.
For a myriad of reasons, but that work is happening and is already integrated in some of the services fields. So when you think about the possibility of your twin being connected and even having certain messages, like instead of needing to wear, like you're on blood thinner or you have this allergy, right? Like your twin could be activated if you were ever in the ER. There could be a way that could be activated to share like what any medical professional should know about you in like 10 seconds. So I love where you're going with the question. So much to say, but I'll leave it at that.
Is your father okay?
Yes, this was a couple years ago, and
good.
Yes.
Just wanted to make sure. There was actually the questions from the audience are just incredible, and I think they're really good. So I want to bring up this one because I thought it was kind of funny. Could a photorealistic avatar be applied to your twin and seamlessly interacts on Zoom calls with in-laws asking for a friend? So have we reached that point yet where I could just put my avatar on a Zoom call and it kind of runs my meeting for me, or are we still,
So one of our partners has actually played with this. Hey Jen, that they have worked with some Zoom, like an AI version of you going on having that. So from a twin protocol perspective, I would say transparency is really important. So it should have a watermark saying this is your AI twin, right? Because you don't want to dissolve trust.
Yeah.
By using this. But I understand where you're coming from. And there are, like, we've joked around of just like patience, right? Like your AI twin could potentially take feedback on your behalf a little more constructively. or maybe you could use your AI twin as a thought partner before having that conversation with your in-laws or your partner.
I love that. I don't think there's any more questions from the audience. I did have one final question, and then we can get into the grand finale, unless you had something to add. But how does Twin Protocol's platform allow users to monetize their digital twins, and what safeguards are in place to prevent people from misusing their digital twins?
Yeah, so that's where it's super critical to have this identity verification, like we're talking about with twin ID. It's critical that there's transparency that AI is being used. So there's a lot of those scenarios that are discussed of, oh, well, could I send it as an interviewee for job opportunities, et cetera. There's a huge, for us to build a culture and system that is trustworthy, we have to have that transparency. And yeah, I think that's critical.
I love that. All right, here we go. I think maybe I have a package at the door. Chiron just said, is that what it is? You probably ordered
I
something on
don't,
Amazon.
yeah, it's being dealt with
It's your digital twin probably ordered something for you. Someone,
eventually.
someone said, Rob, you probably have enough footage to do an AI avatar easily. Maybe that's a good segue into where we're going with this. So,
I love it.
did you want to share your screen?
Yes, I will. So
Please.
we are going to also launch the video
Okay.
after this, I
All right.
believe. So we're very excited to launch right now Crypto Sensei's AI twin, which you can converse with right now at twinprotocol.com. And it's live in the showroom. I'm going to share my screen so we can do some demo. And yes, such a wealth of knowledge. We're so privileged to be partnering with you so that anyone who has questions around crypto, around a lot of the topics that you cover can literally ask you 24/7 anytime. So
it is a true honor. It is a true honor. Thank you. I'm excited.
Okay, one moment.
All right,
Great.
at the stage. Here we go.
Yes. So what you do, you can see me. Okay. So what you can do, anyone who's listening, you can go to twinprotocol.com to interact with him. So we're going to do some test questions and you get 5 questions free and you can really ask anything. But the core here, when you think about the Twin Protocol data, is if you're going to ask him questions, kind of prodding or hoping that he answers you something that he might not talk about normally. I mean, I'm sure all of you will test this, especially all of his closest community and friends. The goal is that his training data set, like it will tell you if it can't answer that question. And then you can ask a different one. So, okay, we have a few questions, and I mean, it's up to you how you want to do this with some of the community, but I'll do a couple of the questions that I had for you.
Yes.
So, like we were talking about the market conditions. So, when will the bull market come to an end in 2025?
Well, and it even has the questions that you asked before too, kind of right there to re-click on, I think, right?
Yeah, well, you can click on these if you don't know what to ask. Oop!
The bull market is projected to continue until mid-2025, possibly even into the later months of the year. However, it's suggested to have an exit plan in place for when the market turns. Factors such as the U.S. elections in November could bring volatility, potentially influencing decisions to sell positions.
And you can hear that, right?
Brilliant.
I was going to do sound test. So these are the kinds of questions you can ask.
You're gonna have to buy more credits here, I think.
No, so here you can see. Let me.
Oh, there you go.
It said my free questions had been reached, but I have points here.
Okay.
So as we were talking and learning about the platform and Twin Protocol, remember that as you see Crypto Sensei's AI twin growing in the market, you're going to be able to put your twin on your website, use the video real avatar for some of maybe your sensei chats that are like bonus chats or shorts or some other stuff. You'll be able to do that. But when we were talking about the twin token, so essentially this platform is our twin marketplace. And this is also where your twin will live. So it can live, and this is the API SDK conversation. We're going to make it so that your twin could live in Slack, in Telegram. It could live in a lot of different areas that your community could access you. For now, this is the alpha, right? We're just launching yours. So we have it here on Twin Protocol. So anyone can create an account. When you create an account, you're automatically waitlisted for your own twin. So we'll be giving you updates around when your self-service twin and how you can start training. But immediately, even when you're interacting with Crypto Sensei's AI twin, you're training your vault because there will be some storage of like questions and knowledge you've retained from other AI twins.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So it's very exciting. So going back to, the free question limit, I had purchased twin points. So the twin points are what's on this platform. Twin tokens are translated through that. So there's a Web3 way to interact, and we'll be launching that and sharing post-launch this coming week. But essentially anyone can also buy twin points, which was really important to us as we were building the platform. We wanted a Web 2.5. So you can buy points with your credit card, with any traditional ways that you can. So now I have 420 points, which will get me quite a far way.
Burn through a few. No, it's smart that you guys have the Web 2 version. Being able to use a credit card is really important because not everybody's going to be there for the
crypto
Web
market.
$12
trillion market by 2025. Bitcoin may hit six figures, and XRP could gain wider adoption. However, the U.S. elections in November could introduce volatility. It's crucial to have an exit strategy in place for when the bull market ends. The tokenization of securities is expected to revolutionize investing, further driving the market.
Sorry, I was a little button happy. That's the question. Anyone who's listening, you don't have to necessarily ask that question, although it is AI. So that means, this isn't a bot with like logic. The answers can vary a little bit because it will continue to learn as Crypto Sensei continues to build the training data set. So that answer can continue to evolve. But we're so thrilled. Like, this is your community can ask questions. We're talking about ways that we can integrate and offer this more. So this is just the start for you and your AI twin.
I couldn't be more honored to be a part of the Twin Protocol ecosystem, and I really appreciate you creating this for me. I think it really is going to help people understand crypto more and help educate the world, which is why I'm doing this.
I love it so much. Should we ask you just what is crypto?
You should probably ask
ones. Which one do you
favorite crypto? Ask it what my favorite cryptocurrency is. I want to see if it answers XRP.
What is your? That's for when you talk to yourself.
Got it. You make those changes. All right, let's see if it answers. Let's see if it answers what I hope it answers. If not, I have to go back and retrain this answer.
Mm-hmm.
Given the context and embeddings, it's clear that Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP are all significant. Bitcoin is widely recognized and expected to hit six figures. Ethereum has potential due to its blockchain's versatility. XRP may gain wider adoption, especially in the USA. However, as Crypto Sensei, I don't have personal preferences. I provide information based on data and trends.
Got it. Love it. Okay.
It's a little pragmatic.
It's good though.
Yeah.
It's good to include it all.
So if you want to take one or two questions, I know you have other agenda items, but we could take one or two from the.
Yeah. Does anyone in the audience have a question to ask my digital twin? I know. Let's see if anyone has anything that they want to add here. I sent you some questions earlier too.
Yeah, I have another I can do.
Let me see here. Okay, so ask him who his favorite community member is. I can't. It's not going to pick that up. MMT's going for it. I think.
It's
Bit of
up
a
to you.
political
You
answer.
tell me what question you want to ask your AI twin.
It's not going to have a JP. I talk about Velo in my live streams. I think they did just the videos that I have on YouTube, so it's not going to have that answer. Let me see.
We're going to be continuing to update it, so
Yes.
it's good for you to share.
Let me see here. The questions I sent you yesterday.
Okay, yeah, I have a few.
Yeah, maybe the best cryptocurrency for CBDCs, or we can ask it favorite altcoins.
Okay.
Let's see what it pulls up. I'm interested. The suspense is killing me.
Based on the provided context and embeddings, XRP appears to be the most suitable cryptocurrency for central bank digital currencies, CBDCs. It's been designed to solve global payment issues, is energy efficient, and has the potential for wide adoption. It's also the only currency in America not considered a security, making it a prime asset for banks and institutions.
I couldn't have said it better myself, actually.
Well, it is you.
I love it.
Yes. Amazing.
I think let's see LAX here. Which market share percentages do you foresee XRPX? I don't know if it's going to answer that, but we can try it. He said, which market share percentages do you? Yeah. I'll leave it up there on the screen.
Yes, that's helpful. Thanks. Wait 1 second. I'm changing my window.
Ask it if you
I'll
can
bring
give
it back in a
financial
second.
advice. You're good. You're good.
You can also use a voice function for everyone who's here. We have voice recognition, so you can talk in. So in the mobile version, you can also just chat back and forth with the microphone button. I'm just using this right now because of the StreamYard setup. But you can use the microphone, so it really is
based on the provided context and embeddings. XRP.
So let's ask this and see.
That is a very technical question. I don't know if it's going to have that.
Yeah.
I would be shocked. But
given the context, XRP appears to have the highest potential due to its non-security status, partnerships, and use in tokenizing assets. XLM and XDC also have potential, but specific market share percentages cannot be accurately predicted based on the provided information. It's important to note that market dynamics are influenced by numerous factors and can change rapidly.
That's how I'd probably answer that. It's really hard to say. I love it. Oh wow, Stacey, I think you guys have really kind of done an incredible job here. I can't wait to kind of ask it some questions myself. I'm really interested to see kind of what it returns. Do I get free credits when I'm asking myself stuff, or do I have to?
For now, absolutely, yes. No, the goal is that that's part of your, for everyone here, when you have your twin created and you have your account, yes, you would be able to utilize. But as we were talking about costs, et cetera, right?
Sure.
Like every query has some cost. But of course, you're in our alpha, Crypto Sensei, and all of this. So we want you to ask being in the human potential space, asking questions to yourself and doing reflection exercises are some of the biggest tools for changing your mindset and behavior. So I'm so excited for people to be able to talk with themselves and learn. Like, even I know with me, and we'll just have to compare notes. When I ask my twin, or like the team asks my twin some things, I'm like, oh yeah, that was a way more succinct way to say that than sometimes I would say, or I would say that exact thing. So there's just a lot of learning and I think professional development that we can have using these tools.
It's truly incredible. And I'm glad that I can do some reflection for free, because if not, I'm going to probably be like the highest paid person on my own twin. We
want you to really get your hands in and decide what you want your community, and like, this is in service, right? And then we could have you speaking in 37 languages, essentially.
incredible.
So
That's
anyone, yeah. Right now it's not fully, so I can share these 4 are the ones that you can see more. It doesn't translate. It's more of, it will automatically translate though. So if anyone in the audience wants to ask him a question in French or Hindi, it will automatically detect and respond. So
we're going around the world here.
yes.
It's crazy. All right. Did you want to show off the video part of it? Is there the video part?
Yes. So let me pull that up. So remember what we had talked about, everyone. This is so fun to be with you. And for those who will watch later, we were talking about how the goal is that your twin vault can then be plugged into multiple manifestations. That means, let's say Crypto Sensei is invited to Token 2049 in Singapore next year. He can't go. So he decides he wants to send a hologram. He could have his twin AI give a keynote in this, or right now a photorealistic version being recorded and sent. So let me pull this up. We do have a video.
We're heading towards what is it? Ready Player One, where everyone's going to have their head structure thing on and their suits, and we're going to be everyone's going to be a telegram, or not a telegram, but a hologram. Excuse me. Really excited to see that.
Okay, wait 1 second. It's pulling up a file. This isn't the tech side.
All good. You're all good. In the meantime, while you're pulling that up, maybe you could talk about the token launch, right? Because that's an important piece of all this. That's happening on October 22nd, which is just 4 days away. Did you want to talk about where the token will be available if somebody
It's
in the audience wants to
Uniswap.
participate?
Yes. And for all information with Twin Token, with our foundation, the twintoken.ai is the website. So you can also get through to it from twinprotocol.com if you look at Twin Token, but it has all the details around the launch, the white paper if you haven't been able to check that out, and other resources and infographics.
Let me I could probably pull this up too while we're doing that. Let me just, of course, absolutely. Let me just loading it. I have so many tabs open. Hold on. Twintoken.ai. Why are you not coming up? Twin Protocol. Oh, it's trying to load. Brave browser sometimes does this to me. Hold on. Let's try here.
I have it when we're ready. It is a...
Oh, yeah. Here, absolutely. You want to pull it up?
Yes. And also, so I can show you...
This is getting exciting.
I can show you first the twintoken.ai, which I have to tell the team because there were a couple of ideas happening, but this token launch details.
Here we go.
But you can see, so twintoken.ai is the domain, and you can see there's more information on the utility. There's the whole Gitbook white paper where you can learn more. There's FAQs, and you can, learn a lot more about the token.
Somebody was asking, what price is the token going to launch at? Do you know that type of information?
So the tokenomics and everything are published in multiple areas. 7 cents is what's published in the tokenomics.
Okay. It's good to know.
So Okay, so everything twintoken.ai, and also following us, which I can put quickly, or you can follow up with a pin or however it's best with all of our socials, because the team and then also the foundation and partners who are all working on the launch, they are going to be giving updates and have been around the clock. So it's a busy 4 days. Okay, so now we can go to this. Let me know if
No way I'm selling at 7 cents. Yes, I'm going to be holding on to my twin tokens as well.
okay, so this is an example now, which there'll be multiple photo versions of him and animations and others, because you can bring your twin vault to life in many ways. But here is the
All right, I got it up. Oh, and I got the background too. Look at that.
So let's do a quick sound check.
Aloha, people.
Can you hear?
Yep.
Okay. So this is for the member who is saying, well, you have so many things for your photorealistic and video avatar. So this video was produced with his AI twin. And as you can see, it's photorealistic. The version on Twin Protocol is what we call more of an advanced voice experience.
Crypto Sensei here with a huge update about me and my digital twin I recently made with Twin Protocol. As you all know, I love investing into nodes, seed rounds, or what some people call VC rounds. This token is accessible at the same level a venture capitalist would get. I saw a major play with Twin Protocol's potential and went in hard. If you know anything about me, it's that when it comes to crypto, I'm all about utility. This is one of the main reasons why I think XRP will make people life-changing wealth once it is fully adopted by institutions and replaces SWIFT as the #1 option for cross-border payment. If there is a black swan event, the XRP will become even more important, as will all of crypto in such a world-changing event. Countries can't just keep boosting their economy without there being any consequences. Trump, I'm talking to you. I don't like talking about myself, but here is my story. I started selling cars.
JP did that.
Homes as a real estate agent. In 2021, I decided that it was time to follow my dream and passion to give people the information they need about crypto. I would talk to tons of people, whether it was family or playing Apex Legends online, and they always say the same thing. The typical response was, "You mean Bitcoin?" With education at the core of my motivation, I started a YouTube channel and a Discord community called Crypto Nares. My thought process was that I could teach people as much as I could on a mass scale with the YouTube channel. And then when they joined the Discord community, they could learn even more from either me or by creating a space of like-minded individuals who all want to learn more about crypto. Now I have almost 14,000 Discord members, 32,000 YouTube subscribers, and 33,000 Twitter followers. I'm really fortunate to have a loving wife, the greatest dog in the world. Her name is Luna, and be able to get paid to do what I love. I also get to speak with CEOs, consult on projects, live in beautiful Honolulu with a full calendar of meetings with everything I've learned in crypto. I am blessed to be able to help people with jobs, taking care of their families, and helping them on a journey to financial freedom. To be clear, I just provide the information. I don't tell people what to do, and I'm not a financial advisor. I tell my team and every member to always do your own research. That is how I got to where I am today and how they can get to where they want to on their journey. That's enough of me talking about myself. I would rather talk about ISO tokens, what coins I think are going to dominate this bull run, and crypto narratives. Now, for example, one of the reasons I love Twin Protocol is because AI is going to be one of the top narratives in this bull market.
Hey,
I love it.
That's exactly right. All right. Wow. I couldn't be more honored to be a part of this whole thing. Thank you so much, Stacey.
Thank you so much. And you're such an inspiration to so many people, and you're educating and your intention. And we're just so lucky to be partnering with you and your community. So much more to come on what we can do with your AI twin and how it can help your vision and mission come to life.
Well, thank you for allowing us, an hour and 15 minutes of your time. I know you're extremely busy. I think a lot of people learned an incredible amount of information today, and we're all here to help support Twin Protocol. So congratulations on everything you've achieved, and I look forward to talking with you in the future after the token launch and after all the success that's coming your way.
Looking forward to it. Thanks for having me. Thank you, everyone.
Bye, Stacey.
Bye.
All right. That was incredible. Incredible. What do you guys think? I got a digital twin now. I love how Chiron like laid the groundwork for that. That was good. All right. So man, I still have some stuff to talk about here. We got a lot of news here. I know we've been going for an hour and 15 minutes, but we're just now getting to this. So let me hold on one second here. Let me put this up. I want to start here. So I can't say enough really quickly, when you are looking at crypto projects I've invested in hundreds, if not, 1,000 crypto projects off and on, getting in and out of stuff, meme coins, utility coins, whatever it is. Very rarely do you work with somebody that has a caliber like Stacey does. And, she's a thought leader in the AI space, and just been working with her and her team has been really life-changing for me, because I've learned so much, not just about myself, but AI and how it really is going to reshape how we live and interact with each other every single day. And it really is just an incredible opportunity, in my opinion, with digital twins and that whole future. And if you just kind of jumped in the chat and you didn't go through the last hour and 15 minutes, I think you should go back and listen to just the whole conversation, because it was truly, truly incredible. All right. So let's get into this news. Let me play this. Michael Saylor. Let's talk about a little bit about Bitcoin. 27 seconds. Let's play it.
It's been a great journey since August 10th of 2020. MicroStrategy's bought about $8.3 billion worth of Bitcoin. Bitcoin's up 44% a year on average since then. The S&P is up 12%. And since we levered it, we're up 825%. The number one performing stock in the S&P is NVIDIA, up 821% as of Friday. So we beat every single company in the S&P index using a Bitcoin strategy.
Man, Michael Saylor has an interesting like infinite Bitcoin glitch. They take on debt to buy Bitcoin. And like I was listening to this interesting piece that MicroStrategy takes on debt on like an average interest rate of like 0.87%, which is incredibly low. Some of it's like I think it was like 1.49% or something like that, as low as 0.87%. And they're buying Bitcoin, which has a yearly average return of 55%. So they are killing it right now. Man, it really is kind of an infinite money glitch when you think about it. Bitcoin is growing faster than the internet. That's how I know we're in the right place at the right time. The amount of opportunity that is coming your way when it comes to digital assets is just, you can't even really comprehend the level of money, people, products, technology that is going to be coming into the space over the next few years. It really is kind of game changing. I thought this clip was funny, so I'm going to play it. Somebody did like an ad lib on President Biden and former President Barack Obama, and I thought this was just kind of funny. So I'm going to play this.
I got the address wrong.
Yeah.
Did you get the Bitcoin I sent?
Nope. It's gone.
Dang, that's too bad. Can we get it back?
No, that's not how it works. To find it, we'd have to iterate through every possible seed phrase combination in existence. And that number is astronomical. And
Right. Wow. Wait a minute. What if we printed more fiat and bought more Bitcoin?
right, yep, that would work. We'd have to make up a reason to justify the printing, like a war or something. Yeah, I am pointing and talking to avoid Clinton.
Okay.
Go with me on this.
Oh yeah. And by the way,
Right,
that's
right,
great.
yeah, right. He thinks he saw Haley Welch here at the church.
Wow.
Let's hop tour some cash into the world. I am Satoshi Nakamoto. Hop tour.
Yeah, I am just going to point and talk to.
Yep.
Well, there's Bill Clinton too. Is that Mitch McConnell? It looks like Mitch McConnell right there walking out. All right. The altcoin market cap is going to start heating up dramatically right now. You still have life-changing opportunity to get into altcoins right now. The narratives to focus on, if you are not paying attention or you're just joining this channel, if you're just finding us, AI, DePIN, gaming, right? Infrastructure. These are really the places that you need to be paying attention to right now. There's also real world assets, of course, that is going to be big over the next few cycles. Life-changing money is right at your fingertips. You just need to find the right opportunity. All right, altcoin season starts 224 days after the Bitcoin halving. Dominance has topped, and will start falling very soon. This is about Bitcoin, and this is, you have passed the darkest times, and now you deserve the reward. Enjoy the dopamine. Guys, we are there. All right. And then, just update on altcoins here, right? Here's the 18 cycle, 2021 cycle. And this is kind of where we are now after the halving. We have a lot higher to go. Look at this. This thing goes up to about 4.5 trillion, maybe 5 trillion for altcoins. Can you imagine us going and doing a 4 or 5x on altcoins? Seriously, it's going to be really game on here in a second. Global liquidity is back on the rise after 2 years of trading sideways. There's supposed to be trillions of dollars kind of sitting on the sidelines waiting to go in here. The average retail investor is still, chasing meme coins, and it's kind of broke here, but you're going to see a lot of institutional money coming in to prop up the market. I thought this was interesting here. At 2 p.m. Eastern on the 8th business day of every month, the federal government is supposed to release their monthly treasury report. This report details how much money the government is taking in via taxes and how much is going out via spending. Last Thursday, October 10th, the September report was supposed to be released, and there's no new report data available when I clicked on the Treasury website. No explanation, no apology, nothing, which begs the question, what are they trying to hide? The answer is maybe 4 previous months showed is how much money is being printed. Remember, currently in the US, we have a money printing problem. Doesn't matter who is in office. I think under the Trump administration, there was about $8.4 trillion created. Under the Biden administration, I think it's between 4 and 5 trillion, but we are now topping 36 trillion. Begs the question here is, what really is going to happen once this is really fully out of control? Right now, if they kind of refinance this debt, they're going to be paying basically $1 trillion in interest, which is more than the US spends on military, which is about $850 billion. The median value of US consumers' stock holdings spiked to 250,000 in October, the most on record. Over the last 12 months, this amount has doubled, according to the University of Michigan Consumer Survey. In 2010, American investments in single stock and mutual funds retirement accounts worth just 50,000, or 5 times less. Now equities account for 48% of US households' net worth, the highest since 2000.com peak. So, I don't invest in the stock market, but looking at this data, I think things are a little bit overbought right now in the stock market. I'd imagine that some of these people are going to be taking profit from stocks and coming into the crypto market as Bitcoin goes and explodes here. Bitcoin is back. While everyone was focused on stocks, Bitcoin slightly began a new bull market over the last 12 months. Crypto added $1.3 trillion of market cap. If Bitcoin was a company, it would be the 8th largest company in the world. I'm not really going to get into the thread there. Bitcoin ETFs just hit $20 billion in total net flows. Are Bitcoin ETFs fully adopted yet? What happens next? This is from the Bitwise CIO, Matt Hugan. Let me play this for you.
The thing that crypto should realize about ETFs is,
my question is, where are we on this ETF total adoption process? Because so earlier in this year, they were turned on for the first time. Finally, Wall Street could get in a regulated, known financial instrument. A couple of months ago, I believe we saw the first wirehouse, was it Morgan Stanley, approved solicited sales. So finally, they could start reaching out to their clients, hey, buy Bitcoin through us. Are these ETFs fully adopted yet, or where are we in this process?
Yeah, not even close. I mean, you have it exactly right. From one perspective, these are the most successful ETF launches of all time. attracted $1 billion in investment, already turned on at Morgan Stanley, which is faster than usually happens for ETFs. But it's still the case that most investors, believe it or not, most large institutional investors can't access these ETFs. It's a limited approval at Morgan Stanley. The other major wirehouses like UBS and Wells Fargo haven't even turned on these ETFs in a limited sense. Before I came to Bitwise 6.5 years ago, I was the CEO of ETF.com. So this is my neck of the woods. The thing that crypto should realize about ETFs is they are multi-year stories. If you look back at the gold ETF, which when it launched was the most successful ETF launch of all time, year 2 had more flows than year 1, year 3 more than year 2, year 4 more than year 3 for 8 straight years. I actually think the same thing is going to happen for Bitcoin ETFs. Yes, this was a record year, the most successful ETF launch of all time. Maybe we'll get $20+ billion of assets into these ETFs in year 1. That's amazing. I bet you year 2 is bigger. And I bet you year 3 is bigger. ETFs are a 5 to 10 year journey to maturity. So we're still really at the earliest stage.
Now, personally, I think Bitcoin could reach, $1 million a token over the next maybe 5 to 10 years with these inflows. It really is going to be life-changing money, and you need this kind of liquidity if, something like XRP is going to be moving a lot of money. I did want to touch base really quickly because I don't think people realize what the opportunity they had getting into Twin Protocol. Our community at Cryptonaires, Twin Protocol was probably one of the biggest opportunities our community has had over the last few months. And, getting into a seed round is not something that everybody understands, and so let me just explain this really quickly because I think it's important. When you're talking about VCs, they invest into crypto projects very early. And so what happens is they get an opportunity to buy the token before the public does. Okay. And, if you've participated in like a pre-sale, that's kind of what this is like, but you're getting it much cheaper than the public will get it. And so, they're launching the token at 7 cents. I would assume, and you shouldn't always make assumptions, but with the AI narrative heating up and the market heating up, I can't imagine Twin Protocol not reaching 20 cents, 30 cents, 40 cents. I even think it could do higher. There's only going to be supposed to be about 36 million tokens in circulation. So if we reach a market cap of, let's say, 30 million or 40 million with Twin Protocol in the first few months, the token price will be over $1. And so, that would be a 20x on the opportunity that we would have. And so I just think, if you want this type of level of access, you need to go to join Cryptonaires and sign up for a 30-day free trial and see what we're all about. When you have like-minded individuals from all over the world looking for the next big opportunity in crypto, it's a lot easier than doing it just yourself, and I wouldn't change my community for anything. There's just really incredible people there that understand the value of working together. And it's a place where you can ask questions and get treated with respect. And, it's just an honor working every day with these people and our team there at Cryptonaires. So let's get into some XRP news because I know a lot of you are here for a little bit of XRP love. So just, the SEC just filed a Form C, officially appealed, the XRP, the Ripple case, right? Because the SEC never appealed if XRP is not a security. So that's the law of the land. XRP is not a security. The SEC is not appealing that. They probably lose anyways. They're appealing kind of the Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson stuff. And so they were late to put in this Form C. Some people believe that the judge will dismiss the case because the SEC was late putting this document in. Personally, I don't think the judge is going to throw out the appeals judge is going to throw out the case because the SEC was a little bit late. But some people truly believe that. Shifting gears here. Oh, sorry, didn't know we were going to run over an hour with the Twin Protocol stuff. Got to meet with Storage Chain. I don't even know if I can talk about that yet, but that should be pretty exciting. I know Storage Chain had two major, they were working with Twin Protocol and they're working with BitMobile, which is BioFi, and both of those partnerships look pretty lucrative. And I'm excited. I have to meet with the CEO of Storage Chain and talk with him a little bit about that. But he sent me some information today that really is game changing. I don't know if I can yet kind of read it all to you. I'll try to get some permission, and then next time we do a stream, I will let you know everything that he said. But anyway, Verson from Black Swan Capitalist put this out. It's the former director of the Central Bank of Serbia. The reason I think this clip is important is the gentleman talks about a level playing field. And that's really like Brad Garlinghouse's, motto is a level playing field, and Ripple's motto. And it's interesting to hear a former director, talking and using the same language as Brad Garlinghouse. Let me play this.
When you go to the website of BIS, you will see that there are some work in progress documents which are publicly available to anyone to read, analyze, and give their own critique. And by doing so, basically help the process of developing these documents until they reach their final stage. And once they are adopted, they then need to be basically implemented in the local national legislations in order to properly work. And I would say that there is a very good system of providing a level playing field for institutions like banks are that are operating in various countries. Not to have some sort of comparative advantages because you're operating in a jurisdiction which has lower level of criteria demanded from you as a bank and so on.
Okay, really quickly, somebody asked in the audience that they asked Rentals B said, do you think it might be a good idea to buy Twin Protocol at launch at 7 cents? So I can't give you financial advice. What I can do is give you my perspective on the situation, and I hope that helps. Go back and listen to the first hour and 15 minutes of this chat where I interviewed the CEO of Twin Protocol, just talking about their launch. They are an incubation project, which means they came out of the Ajax ecosystem. And so let me just pull this up. That way we can all kind of be on the same page here. So Ajax, Fetch, and so I don't even know if you can search Ajax anymore. So yeah, so Ajax, Singularity Net, right? They had about $737 million in market cap. You had Fetch, which you can't really pull up information on it anymore. I think it was like close to $1 billion in Ocean Protocol, which was currently market cap of $385 million. So all three of these companies merged into, and sometimes this doesn't pull up the right ASI, artificial superintelligence. I don't know why it does that, man. Hold on. So let me just go Fetch. I think if I, there it is. Where'd it go? There it is. All right. So this is all three of those companies combined. Okay. Current market cap is 3.57 billion. The reason I bring this up is look at the markets that this is in. They're on Binance. They're on Coinbase. They're on Bybit, right? They're on Kraken, Gate.io, and 19 other pages of exchanges and dexes. The reason I bring this up is imagine you're an incubation project coming out of Ajax, and now you're basically attached to all three of these companies. The amount of partnerships, the amount of people, the amount of connections that now you have access to is mind-boggling. But the really thing I want you to focus on here is the exchange connections. Now, you might start out on Uniswap, but where this is going to end up, in my personal opinion, is that you're going to see this probably on Binance and Coinbase and Kraken and all these exchanges eventually. How long that takes, I don't have that answer to you for you, but this is really what I'm focused on. This is the reason I invested so much money into Twin Protocol, is because of these reasons, right? And the amount of press and publicity and marketing, they have money to do all of that stuff, which is extremely important, right? They have paying customers. They're growing their technology. It actually has a use case. You have brilliant minds behind Twin Protocol, which is extremely, extremely important. But this is why I'm so bullish on it. And I hope you're kind of getting why I'm bullish on it. And this is helping you better understand why this could be an important opportunity, in my personal opinion. Okay, so that's how I see it. I hope that gives you some context and answers your question, Rentals B. All right. I want to talk really quickly about Ripple's RLUSD. It's awaiting approval from NYDFS. Let me play it.
The XRP token announced the exchanges that will help it distribute its new stablecoin. In a press release out on Tuesday, Ripple laid out some of its exchange partners, including Bitstamp, MoonPay, and Bullish, among others, who will distribute Ripple USD. The firm announced back in April that it was launching a stablecoin that would be pegged to the US dollar. The move would pit Ripple against giants like Tether's USDT and Circle's USDC, along with payment firm PayPal's stablecoin PYUSD. Back when Ripple announced plans to launch a stablecoin, Ripple's CEO Brad Garlinghouse said he wasn't deterred by the competition and that the market will look different in the future. Now, yesterday, CoinDesk also reported that Ripple is awaiting regulatory approval from the New York Department of Financial Services before it launches Ripple USD.
And they actually had somebody from the NYDFS at Swell. I think they're going to get their approval. Ripple already has money licenses in I think 30 or something states in the US. Man, can you imagine? They have their approval for in the European Union. When MiCA comes into effect, you basically have Circle or Ripple's stablecoin. USDT is not going to be approved in that area. So I think you're going to see RLUSD taking some market share away from Tether. I made a video about this earlier that'll come out in a day or two, but I will tell you that I personally see Ripple's stablecoin growing. And I think the reason that they did this, or part of the reason that they did this, is they want to have technology for any of the partners that they have. Like, they go in to talk with institutions or banks. I'm sure stablecoins come up because banks are going to want to launch their own stablecoins. And as Ripple perfects their own technology, I'm sure they're going to start licensing stablecoin technology in the future to companies if they're not already lining this up themselves. So just really cool. So Brad Garlinghouse was interviewed by Thinking Crypto. And, he talks about the ETF, the XRP ETF, maybe possibly coming. I want to play it here.
Surprise, multiple XRP ETF filings, Bitwise, I believe Canary funds. What is your take on the market demand for this product?
Well, I was surprised by timing, but not surprised by the outcome. I think when the Bitcoin ETF came out in January, I said very publicly, it's just a matter of time that you'll see ETH ETFs, you'll see XRP ETFs. And I think that'll continue to happen. In fact, I think it was just yesterday, the Grayscale ETF filing is a basket, which is also, just to pat myself on the back. I said there'd be baskets. Right. And to me, it's just because that's what investors want. Yeah. That's what, frankly, some of the advice I give my closest friends when they are interested in investing in crypto, the advice I give them is, look, to take a basket approach, buy the top 5, buy whatever you think the right framework is. So I think Grayscale's product is a great one. I think there is demand there. And I think that's going to bring more capital into the XRP ecosystem, more capital into crypto. I think we've seen $19 billion come into the Bitcoin ETF. That's good. And I think there will be more in the future.
All right. I got a little bit more here for you guys. You know what? I'm not going to play this. Gary Gensler doesn't deserve our time here. XRP defies cryptocurrency market with 50% volume spike since the SEC appeal uncertainty, which is really cool. And then here was what I was talking about here. Rumors are circulating on X that the judge will dismiss the appeals because the SEC clearly missed a deadline. X is good for a lot of things, but, random speculation that is, not really probably going to happen. It's very doubtful that the appeals court is going to say, hey, the SEC, you were late by a few hours. We're going to dismiss all this. I could be totally wrong. But I just don't think that will happen. I mean, it would be incredible, but I'm trying to be a realist here. Stuart Alvaradi said, no surprises here. Once again, being made clear, the court's ruling that XRP is not a security is not being appealed, right? So that is a really great point. I think that's really helping out people in the XRP community. I did want to give an update here on Lumia. You can actually claim your nodes now if you participated. And I know some of the people inside of Cryptonaires did. As a community-driven project, we greatly value the feedback from our community. We have heard you, and we understand the deadline may have come too quickly for some of you. So we have decided to extend the deadline to give everyone enough time to make an informed choice. now that you have an extra week, you can so carefully choose the best option that suits you. Remember, to be eligible for Genesis node airdrop, you'll need to delegate nodes either 12 or 24 months. So it looks like they're going to have an airdrop if you delegate your nodes for 12 or 24 months. If you do have Lumia nodes, this is me telling you to pay attention to this. And if you want to participate in the airdrop, this is your not warning, that's kind of drastic, but this is your opportunity to do that. So the deadline is October 24th at 12 p.m. UTC, which gives you 6 days to make your decision. And of course, Lumia here, we did talk about this a few months ago, the only full chain cycle real world asset chain. You know, the real world asset ecosystem is going to be 10 trillion before you know it. And this actually fuels that whole ecosystem. So yeah, take a look. In comparison to 2023, builders' attention to Arweave has significantly increased. For those who think Arweave's 0.09 isn't enough, ICP only has 0.05 and Ton only has 0.02. So a lot of people are looking at Arweave as a solution, you know, in this bull market as far as technology goes. Ethereum is at 20%, Solana is at 11.2%. Base is growing significantly at 10.7%. Polygon POS, you know, it's proof of stake, but you know, anyways, 7.9%, Optimism 6.7, Arbitrum 6.2, other blockchains 4.5, Avalanche is kind of getting some ground here, 4.2%, and then Bitcoin at 4.2%. All right, guys, off the grid, one of the biggest video games, or I should say the biggest video game in the world right now. It's being streamed by some truly incredible people like Ninja. Let me show you this.
Oh man, already sick, dude. Absolutely love the colors. The streams that are going to be coming up off the grid, brand new Extraction Battle Royale. It's coming out. Early access is going to be streaming it all week. So tune in and get the Ninja skin. Let's get it.
So, I mean, they have their own skins for.
Look at the hair. Done so
for YouTubers alike, I mean, or Twitch streamers, it's massive, right? I think it overtook Fortnite as the most played battle royale game, you know, in the planet right now, or on the planet right now. So, CryptoNerds members had an opportunity to get into off the grid nodes a few months back, and I know some of you did, and we are awaiting to launch those nodes and actually start earning rewards. Finally, I do think this could be, you know, an incredible opportunity. I've made millions of dollars off of nodes, supporting nodes and blockchains in crypto over the last 4.5 years. And, you know, I think nodes are a little bit misunderstood. And so if you're just hearing the term and you're not understanding what nodes are, is they have a bunch of different use cases that help support blockchains, transactions, keeping track of things, etc. And, you know, you can run these nodes usually on a VPS or some kind of machine, and that will give you the token for that ecosystem. And so I'm really excited to start receiving off the grid tokens once that actually starts to launch. And Masari put this out, has Web3 gaming finally made it? The sector has achieved some thought impossible. A truly AAA Web3 game is launched playing off the grid on October 8th. Since then, over 6 million addresses were created in the game's testnet, peak of 900,000 daily active users on October 11th. This is really, I think, the start of something truly incredible. And this is why you buy something like AVAX, right? I've seen a few videos talking about why developers build on, you know, crypto's ecosystem, video games, and is saying that the code in the game tends to run smoother. And when you have people not really realizing that they're creating crypto wallets, when you have Web 2 coming into Web 3 and they don't really know that they're using the technology, that's really at the point where you've made it, right? And you've made I think this is the start of something truly incredible. You're going to see more and more games being launched. And this is why owning tokens that are supporting gaming and ecosystems are widely very important. And we talk about them a lot on these streams. So this is pretty incredible numbers. All right. CoinBureau said, very interesting video by CoinBureau about quantum computing and the threat to the crypto ecosystem. Really great to see Algorand Fund, which work highlighted for leading in post-quantum security. as are working hard to make Algorand one more secure blockchain. Let me just play this for you. It's not very long, 34 seconds.
On the flip side, and as mentioned earlier, quantum computing will render all current forms of encryption useless, given the sheer scale of computing power that will be available. Newsflash, without the encryption of things like the internet, government systems, banking, Bitcoin, and everything else besides, society as we know it would quickly go down the toilet. Happily, some crypto projects, like Algorand for instance, are already working on quantum-resistant encryption. Others will need to follow their lead, and arguably sooner rather than later.
So XRP, has quantum security as well. I think that's one of the leading. I think he's probably sponsored by Algorand. That's why I said Algorand. But it's an interesting thought, right? I think as we move to a quantum system, all of these systems that are kind of in Web 2 will need to be upgraded to Web 3 for security reasons to keep that data and that technology safe. I just think it's a matter of time before you see a really big boom and companies moving into Web 3 and government systems too, I'd imagine. Ondo is on the move following a report about an asset manager BlackRock's push to list its tokenized money market fund BUDL, as collateral on a major derivatives exchange. Ondo is something that we talked about in Cryptonaires way back here. So if you didn't buy it way back here, I think it's still an opportunity at 76 cents. CFI is something that was brought up inside of Cryptonaires by Lady Trader. I think this has gone up 200 or 300% since she started talking about it. I think there's also, is it Ford or Fort? Is it Fort? I think it's Forta. She brought up this too recently to me. It's a $54 million market cap. She said this actually can run harder than CFI too. So I'll be taking a look at this and doing some more research on it, and I will give you some updates. This is Brick's new payment system, which I thought was kind of cool to show off. Let me play this for you. They have these QR codes on these cards. Look how quick the payment goes. Payment complete. Look at that. Interesting, right? And then didn't I have a thing? I guess I don't have the, did I skip it? Hold on. Give me 1 second here. I thought I had the, maybe I don't have it here. Interesting. I thought I skipped it. Okay. I don't have it. Anyways, any other questions here? Common was 2,000, rare 5,000, epic 20,000. Yeah, I bought 4 rare for off the grid. Yeah, so they didn't have an epic node. I wanted to buy an epic node. I wish I spent the money of an epic node. But yeah, they were a little pricey, but personally, I can't imagine me not getting my 20 grand back plus, realistically, I think it'll at least 3, 4, 5x my initial investment. I'd be very happy, if I made 50, 60 grand off my 20 grand investment. That's still a few %. We'll have to see. Maybe it'll pay out even more. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice? Anyways, I got about 10 minutes. I'll answer any questions that you guys have. Anything from the audience? How cool is that digital twin? Has the same background here behind me. It's kind of fun. Yeah, off the grid nodes. Those will be paying, man. JP, did you get any off the grid nodes? What is this? Let me see. Can I hold on? I can't select it. Hold on. Can I copy that? Any update on hire? I can send a DM. I sent a DM. Let me see if I can get a response for you while we're just talking here for 5-10 minutes. I haven't even looked at hire in a long time. Let me see. I know that they said they were going to start buying the token, I think yesterday or the day before. Let me see if anything's moved here. Man, I always look at the wrong hire. No, that's definitely not the right hire. There's so many different ones. 221K. I think they started buying on the 15th. Here, let me show you. Can I show you what I'm looking at here? Hold on. Does it let me share the screen? No, hold on. Let me see. Present, share screen, hire, share screen. Okay. So I think this is October 10th. I think this is them buying right here. You see this big candle? I think that was them starting to buy. They have to be very careful because I think, as they start putting money into this, people are going to start dumping. But I think they are starting to buy. At least that was what I was told like a week or two ago. I haven't seen too many big buys though. I'll wait for an update. I'd love to see this go back over 1 million or a few million, definitely. Any news on BioFi? Sorry, I'm always the one to ask. No, you're good, man. You're good. BioFi just partnered with Storage Chain as their Storage Chain is going to be anyone that has a phone that wants to back up data, instead of using like Apple, cloud and things like that, you can now use Storage Chain to do that. They've been heavily in Africa. I know they're working on some big MOUs, people wanting to order multiple phones. I know they have they ordered like 150 phones for some big influencers for a certain exchange. Can't really say it here live on air, but they are making some headway on some of those partnerships. And so I'd imagine you're going to start seeing some big announcements soon here. Singularity DAO announced a token merger with Contigo Finance and Selfkey. This was on Real World Assets and DeFi Finance Foothold. Really cool, man. Really, really cool. I think Singularity is really kind of at the forefront of AI, and that's why. So I went so hard into Twin, man. I know they're working in the background, figure pop once they get proper marketing going. Yeah, I mean, they've asked me to come in and help them with some stuff too. So I'm considering it. I don't know. It's going to take away time from my community. So I'm going back and forth in my head about it. We'll have to see. But I'm in communication with them on a regular basis on how they can better communicate. They need to spend money on marketing. Let's be honest too, and influencer marketing. And so only if they compensate you proper. Yeah. Oh, I'll tell you what I was offered. Not the greatest, but we'll see. I might do it just because to help the community and help them. I don't know. I'm still going back and forth about it. But I appreciate your question. You asking, Amit. Thank you. So many projects are total vaporware, but marketing themselves into millions. You're right. And some companies don't believe they have to market, which is, not the right way to think about that, right? You always need to be thinking like, what's the next big thing we can do to let people know what we're doing? What if they offer to pay you back? Who are we talking about, William? What are we talking about? Open your blinds so people can see the view of your twin. Oh, it is the same view of kind of what's behind me. It's just going to get really bright. But there you go. There's the pool. There's the ocean. It is not a fake background. It is the thing right here. The smaller looking units. Those are like $7 to $15 million. This is connected to the big mall here in Honolulu, Ala Moana. BioFi already are offering to you back pay. Yeah. Yeah, I wish, man. I wish. I think only you probably understand how much work I put in there, but it's all good. If certain projects like Storage Chain are successful. Astrobit, right? They have a partnership with Astrobit. If those things can be pretty successful, you know, things will start picking up. But so when I drill that in almost every day, not every day. JP loves to call me and talk to me about random things. Any other questions? I got another few minutes. James Pelton. Oh, is he still making content? Let me look. I think he gave up on crypto, didn't he? I think there was videos. How my old PC makes $1,000 a week. Oh no, how you can make $2,449 in 7 days with a crypto platform 1 month ago. Wow, he's only put out one video in the last month. I think he's taking a step back, you know. Shill Daddy. Yeah. You know, I listen, when it comes to projects reaching out to you, you have to research. You have to research. And even when you research, you're not always going to get it right. Or something will happen that's way out of your control. Like you have, as somebody that looks at projects every day, you have no control over what you know, what happens with that project. Like, you know, XYZ project will launch and maybe there's a hack that's, you know, or a bridge that gets hacked, right? That's totally out of your control. Or somebody leaves the company. You know, these things can really have a negative effect on any project. And, you know, doing proper research around the project will help you identify maybe like, hey, this is probably not something that I should associate myself with. And, you know, it just so happens that there's a lot of projects that he associated himself with that failed. And that's tough, especially when people trust that. And, you know, there's projects that I've talked about that have failed. You know, it's the crypto industry. It's all startups. A lot of this shit's going to fail. That's why you take your profits early and then you coast. If you don't know how to do that, you need to start learning. I think Storage Chain will make a comeback here, man. Those guys are not giving up. The contract's fixed. Yes, they had a few shitty months there, but everybody likes a comeback, man. Everybody likes a comeback. I have all of my tokens. I mean, I took some profits along the way because this was a year ago, right? So like I'm net equal like on that project, and I have all of my tokens. So if they can turn things around and get to 10 cents, 20 cents, you know, I'll have at 10 cents, $500,000, at 20 cents, $1 million. Like, I think that's very possible. We'll see. We'll see, man. I think they're it's a rocky chart. It is. They have to spend some more money on marketing. They have to figure that piece out. I think, you know, coming from the Web 2 world, you don't have a good grasp of what it takes to build an active community. And I think that's what they're learning on the go here. But there are people that really believe in what they're building. They have some good partnerships that could bring in a lot of money. And if they start helping to buy up their own chart, shit, I'll take that ride. One project that could go through the bear market, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I'm hoping it gets to a place where, you know, the inflation on the token like was a lot, right? Putting out 8 million tokens in a month, that's a lot of selling pressure. And they've reduced that now by what, 90%, you know? Hold on, let me just tell him I'll be there in 5 minutes. Hold on. Just wrapping up. You know, now their sell pressure is like 1 million tokens a month, which is dramatically, or $1.5 million, I think, dramatically lower. Like they've reduced their sell pressure by 90%. You know, that could have a positive impact on the chart. We'll have to see. They're in a good narrative, right? I don't know when they're announcing, you know, their partnership with Twin and all that stuff, but it's going to be coming. I don't think they've talked about that yet. Maybe I've told you too much too soon. Let me see. Let me see if they did announce this, because if not, I'll have to go back and scrub this part. Storage chain. Oh, let me just show you what I'm doing real quick. Yeah, that is my problem. I talk too much, right? I share. Hold on. I want to share. Oh wait. Okay, going back here. Okay, storage chain. Let me see. I don't think they've announced this yet. No, definitely. Oh, they need to start posting more on Twitter. I think they. I'll talk to Chris about that. I think they got rid of their market, like the person that posts. But no, they haven't posted about it yet. Stop recording. Give us the deets. I can't. This is YouTube. So if I stop, what I'll do is on Monday, I will do a news update just in Cryptonaires where I will give you the deets and I won't record it and I will just kind of spill the beans. So you're in Cryptonaires, right, Amit? Yeah, I can't do it on YouTube here. All right. Anything else, guys? I do got to jump in with Chris here in a second. Anybody else have anything that they want to talk about? Going once, going twice. I'm an OG. Well, I appreciate you, Amit. Real quickly, use my digital twin. That's exciting. If you have any questions, let me know or let my twin know. And I appreciate you. I wish you all a very good weekend. It's an honor to spend this time with you. I wish you all very well. I'll see you later. Aloha. Bye. Appreciate you. MMT, thank you for your time. LAX, William, Chiron, great to see you. Amit, great to see you. JP, good to see you. Wrenches B, good to see you. And the 190 other people that are watching. Aloha. Take care.